Namaste, everyone. I'm Gitte Bechsgaard, and I'm here to invite you or introduce you a little bit to the upcoming weekend workshop with the topic of alignment and the temple of the body. This workshop is being taught by Gloria, Goldberg, and myself, where we will be focusing on the dialogue between yoga philosophy together with Iyengar yoga sadhana. We will also be reciting sutras and the full invocation to Patanjali together with some traditional Indian chants. And I thought here to give you a little bit of an introduction, I will start with a few of the mantras that we'll be doing together when we meet. I'll be doing them right here so that you can listen. And then if you're interested in learning, then you will be taking up that practice on the next weekend. After the recitation of certain mantras, I will say a little bit about the topic of the weekend so that you have a sense of what is waiting you. I will start first with chanting through the full invocation to Patanjali. And I will do it a little bit different from you're used to in your Iyengar yoga classes, where we normally chant it a certain way and we chant the first part of the prayer. But when we study philosophy, we actually learn the whole thing, and we'll also be reciting sutras. I won't be going through sutras here, but on the weekend we will be chanting through the entire first book of Patanjali. But I will start with just reciting the full invocation to Patanjali so that you can listen. After I've chanted that, I will recite two traditional chants to bring alignment and balance in the teacher-student relationship, which we'll also be focusing on the upcoming weekend. Om Srimat Patanjali Mahamunaye Namaha Yogena Chitasya Padena Vacham Malam Sharirasya Cha Vejakena Yopakarotam Pravadam Muninam Patanjalim Pranjali Danatosmi Abahu Purushakaram Shankachakrasi Dharinam Sahasra Shirasam Shvetam Pranamami Patanjalim Yastyatva Rupamadhyam Prabhavati Jakato Nekadanu Kadahaya Prakshina Klesha Rasyar Vishama Vishataro Neka Vakara Supoki Sarva Kyana Prasutir Bhujaga Parikadaha Pritaye Asya Nicham Devo Hisha Savovya Sita Vimalatanur Yoga Do Yoga Yuktaha Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This traditional chant to Sage Patanjali is relevant for our topic on the weekend, because the first three lines has a lot to do with the three parts of finding alignment in sadhana, in our practice. Here we are praying to Patanjali, or bowing down to Patanjali with his method of the Eightfold Path, to ask that our yoga practice give us serenity of body and mind, peace, stability within the body-mind, that it gives purification and health to any imbalances, illnesses, ailments that we suffer from, and that the Sanskrit recitation of sutras will help us to purify our speech and purify our actions in life. There's a very deep meaning behind this, but when we talk about alignment in yoga, alignment is a broad phenomena where we are really seeking balance and harmony with these higher spiritual principles. And a way of treating the body as a temple for the spirit is also by recitation of sacred sound. This is a very powerful prayer that brings, to find serenity of the body and to find serenity of the mind and consciousness. That's the whole striving for alignment. And many times when we start practice, we find ourselves in misalignment, we go out of kilter, which is the opposite of this, which is why we always start with this invocation. So in this invocation, we are setting an intention for our practice to bring alignment and therefore balance and serenity both to our body, our mind, and to our soul and spirit. So that is a very, very important practice for us to do together, and we will be chanting through this very slowly so that you can learn. We will also be going through the following 2 teacher-student prayers. Some of you might be familiar with them, but it is because when we talk about alignment and the temple of the body, it also has to do that within the body we seek the inner mind, we seek the inner self. And to find the inner self, we need a guru showing the way. We need a guru that teaches us yoga to get there. It's not that simple. So because of that, we include in our daily practice prayers and invocations to the guru of our lineage, and also to bring harmony and balance between us in our communities of teachers and students. So I'm going to chant through 2 teacher-student prayers that we will be going through carefully on the weekend as well. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahanao Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Kadavavahai, Tejasvinavaditamastu, Ma Vitvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gurudev Brahma, Gurudev Vishnu, Gurudevo Maheswaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Now, I'm not going to go through the meaning of these right now. We will be covering much more of this, and we'll be covering other traditional chants that are really related to finding the sacred energy in the body when we are seeking alignment. Now, I wanted to start with this quote. My dear friend and colleague Gillian McCann and I had a book published in the spring that's called Yoga and Alignment from the Upanishads to B.K.S. And some of the teachings I will share with you on the weekend comes out of this book. And chapter 4 is dedicated to alignment and the temple of the body, and also the incredible pioneering work of B.K.S. So I will read up for you just from this chapter so you get a sense of what we're also going to be focusing on the weekend. Here it says, in contemporary yoga culture, posture practice and alignment are often associated with seeking integral balance and symmetry of form in the individual poses. This is accomplished partly by paying careful attention to the dual energies of the body. Though a tapestry of energy channels exists, the 2 main channels to be harmonized are those of the solar and lunar channels. As gatekeepers to the main spiritual channel of Sushumna, their balancing is of primary importance. In fact, to consciously cultivate and attune the body to flow according to its inherent patterns of subtle energy is part and parcel of a balanced posture practice. Iyengar pioneered a radically new way of looking at alignment from the perspective of the physical body and made posture practice the entry point to learn about energetic cultivation. He brought methods such as work with points, sequencing, and timing into posture practice to bring about an embodied form of concentration and interiorization. And it goes on and on. But I just wanted to share this with you because when we come together on the weekend, I will be sharing with you about these different classical traditional yogic texts and how they look at alignment. And we cannot look at alignment without also looking at our misalignments, the ways that we go out of balance, and how we need to learn to correct. So Iyengar's method has a lot to do with this trinity of being sensitive to our misalignment, learning to correct, to find alignment. But this process is described, and the concept of alignment is described in some of the main and really important yogic scriptures, including the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, the Upanishads, as well as Tantra and the Bhagavad Gita. So I'm not going to give too much away here today, but I look forward to seeing you to an exploration of ancient traditional scripture together with Iyengar Yoga Sadhana taught by Gloria Goldberg. And basically we will be exploring together so that we will be going from recitation of traditional chants to lectures, and I'll pick parts of teachings out so that we can explore it from a variety of perspectives, how it is that we look at alignment and how the body is seen not as a machine or mechanical physiological instrument, but in fact a temple for the spirit. How we, when we talk about alignment in the yoga tradition, we go from the meticulous alignment that we find through the body to finding alignment and harmony at an inner level to find our inner self and the divine. So we have a rich journey ahead of us. And I hope that if you're interested in joining in, that I will see you on the weekend. Namaste.